Welcome to Red V TV, supported by Chapel House Cars for the 2024 season. And with 3 days to go before Saints begin their 2024 Super League campaign, it can only mean one thing, Kevin.
Yep, 3 is the magic number, and it's time for the new boy. It's time for Waqa Blake, and Waqa is sponsored by Cara Brickwork.
Cara Brickwork, their brickwork division has earned an established place in the industry, operating throughout the UK from offices in the Northwest, Yorkshire and Merseyside. With a wealth of experience working on large-scale projects, they get continued growth and repeat business, and it is testament to the in-house competency of their highly skilled trade personnel.
Good stuff.
Waqa, Kevin, tell us all about him.
6'3", speedy, 62 tries in 165 NRL appearances. Spent 4.5 seasons with the Parramatta Eels. Reading all this from the Saints website as we go along.
What you need, Kevin, is something to do AI for you, and you could almost launch a rugby league website and just copy and paste from Saints official one like they do.
Yes.
Naming no names.
Yeah, exactly. We won't name any names. Fiji International as well.
I did share a table over lunch with Waqa the other week. He's a big boy. He is huge. And if the speed matches his size, you will not want him running at you.
Excellent. Who was quicker to the buffet?
There's only one winner there, Kevin.
You know what? We've been linked with him for quite a bit, haven't we? And saw a couple of, again, social media saying that Saints weren't going to sign anybody. We left that number 3 jersey available, and we were skint, and we weren't going to sign anyone. I don't know where that was made up from. I think that's just people worrying far too much. We've obviously gone out there and signed him on a 12-month deal. This has been widely said, so as not to necessarily block anyone's path to the first team. But I bet if Wonga's good enough and wants to stay over here for another year or so, he will do.
Yeah, it's a deal that suits all parties, isn't it? It gives us a good chance to have a closer look at him in Super League to see how it goes for us. And somebody commented on it. They said they love our use of those words. Whelan might have offered X amount. Waqa might have wanted a little bit more. And we might have said, listen, prove yourself over the course of the season. If you do so, a better deal will be on the table. We obviously kept our money in our pockets as long as we possibly could while we negotiated other deals, such as Jack Wellesby's new deal, to see what we had left. It gave Waqa a chance to explore options in the NRL. Nothing has come about, and it suited both parties to make the marriage happen. And hopefully, it's a very successful one, and Waqa gets on the pitch and shows what he can do, and we're all clamouring for him to extend his deal at the club.
Yeah. And this is for Jerry, who commented on that video. You know what? It feels like, it almost feels like he's a little bit on loan from the NRL, not from any particular club. Because listen, he didn't necessarily want to come over here and play in Super League. He wanted another NRL deal. You can't.
I think he said that, hasn't he, Kev?
Yeah. You can't blame him for that. And I'd rather have an honest player than somebody going, "Oh yeah, it's what I always wanted to do," when it's not. So he's going to be playing for an NRL contract this year. And if he can do that, we're going to have a great 3/4 playing for us. So it's a positive for us. In that time, the lads who are one step behind him can learn off him, can take that NRL experience and try and soak it up and get everything out of him while he's at the club. If he's not quite good enough for NRL and he wants another year here because he's still kicking it in Super League and he's still doing well, excellent. If it doesn't work out at all, we've both had a look at each other, and then he can decide if he wants to go to rugby union, because I know he's linked with that, or he just wants to go back home and he might play a bit of New South Wales Cup or whatever, and end up getting a deal at a club, but he's not a first choice. It does work for everyone. We obviously want him to be successful, but if that then means we only see him for 1 year, so be it. It's how sport works sometimes.
That said, Kevin, we've got 12 months for Wonga to fall in love with the town. Obviously, once he's settled, obviously you've got the likes of Eccleston, Rainford, Billinge, Battle Heath, Lee Green, Bold, the delights of St Helens Town Centre, and all that's got to offer. It might be a case of by the end of the year that why would he want to go back to Australia when he could stay here, and enjoy pie and peas?
I was just about to say, when I see him at about 10 o'clock on a morning wandering up Westfield Street with a hot Birchall's pie in his hands and all the juice like dripping down his chin,
Oh,
you know he's a bona fide St Helena then. Absolutely would be. Like with a chipmunk loyalty card or something. He'll, yeah, I know you say that.
Barry Warden, the crispy cod.
Yeah, exactly. But he may well fall in love with this part of the world. He may well. He may decide that, you know what, going living out in, don't know, Rainford or something, it suits him. He likes it. Or living in Eccleston, it suits him. He likes it. He kind of gets a little bit of attention, but not loads, and he can, he can just live his life. It's going to be weird for him because I think he said he's not brought his family over as well, which may well be tough for him. It looked like you're going to jump in there when I said that.
I was. He also didn't bring a pair of pants either. He looked delighted when he turned up at Manchester Airport and it was about -8 and he was in his shorts.
Yeah, welcome to pre-season.
But Kev, do you know, and we joke about settling in, but the way we are as a club, you see how the players mingle and the families mingle. It may be well over time that his family do follow him over. And you look at the roots that some of our overseas signings have actually put down. When they've stayed for 4 or 5 years and they embrace the local community, they end up with the kids playing for the local rugby teams. And listen, St Helens is a good place to live.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I've not left, unlike you.
So I knew there was going to be another line there. But joking aside, it does work for some people. It might not work. It doesn't work for everyone, but it works for some people that they're able to kind of integrate into the local communities. You say, send the kids playing rugby. You get people like Mori Fasavalu, who is still turning out for West Park. And people do settle into that. I'm not for 1 second suggesting that Blake's going to be rocking out for the likes of West Park or Ruskin Drive in his 50s. But if he settles for 12 months, it might well be that he stays for another year or two. As we said at the start of this, if he ends up going home after 12 months because he's earned himself an NRL deal, then you'd imagine that he's done very well for us.
Yeah. Right then, that is our number 3, Waqa Blake, done and dusted, Kevin. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and we'll be back tomorrow with another of our player previews. Catch you soon.